Have you ever looked at a mountain, a rock, or even a hot spring and thought, wait, that looks alive? Nature has a strange sense of humor. All around the world, there are landscapes and formations that look less like random geology and more like something carved by humans, or even shaped like giant body parts. From cliffs that resemble faces, to boulders that look like skulls, to springs that seem to drip straight out of a living creature. These places blur the line between natural wonder and eerie illusion. Today, we're diving into the oddest natural shapes on Earth that look man-made, or worse, disturbingly human. Trollpikken, Norway. On the rugged cliffs of Eigersund, Norway, in a way that leaves little to the imagination. Known as Trollpikken, which quite literally translates to troll's penis, this natural rock spire has become a viral sensation for its unmistakably phallic form. Unlike many formations where the resemblance requires a second look, Trollpikken's outline is immediate and impossible to miss. Balanced against the dramatic backdrop of Norway's rocky landscape, it looks like nature itself decided to carve a crude joke into the mountainside. The rock has even been the center of local controversy. Once vandalized and broken off in 2017, it was later reattached thanks to public funding, proving just how attached people were to this bizarre landmark. Today, it's not just a hiking destination, but also a reminder that geology sometimes takes on forms we can't help but laugh at. Queen's Head, Taiwan. In Taiwan's Yeliu Geopark stands one of the island's most iconic natural formations, the Queen's Head. Rising as a tall, slender mushroom rock, its narrow neck supports a wider top that, from the right angle, resembles the elegant profile of a woman's head wearing a crown. Unlike other natural oddities where the resemblance is vague or humorous, this one is strikingly regal. Tourists often describe it as looking like a statue carefully chiseled by a sculptor, yet it's the patient work of wind and sea erosion. The fragile neck, however, is thinning year by year, and geologists warn that one day the queen will inevitably collapse. For now, she remains a symbol of Taiwan's natural beauty, part rock, part illusion, and part royalty sculpted entirely by nature's hand. Pum Pum Rock, Bogwalk Gorge, Jamaica. Along the river's edge in Bogwalk Gorge, Jamaica, sits Pum Pum Rock, a smooth, water-worn boulder that immediately grabs attention. Its most striking feature is a large vertical fissure at the center, formed naturally by the constant flow and erosion of the river. The result is a formation that unmistakably resembles female genitalia, giving the rock its local name and notoriety. The effect is heightened when viewed from water level, where the glossy, wet surface catches the light and emphasizes the suggestive curves and natural symmetry. Unlike other geological oddities where resemblance requires imagination, Pum Pum Rock is direct, provocative, and unforgettable, a raw example of how nature can sculpt even the most intimate of human forms. Pedra da Gávea, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rising dramatically over Rio de Janeiro, Pedra da Gávea is a massive granite mountain whose profile unmistakably resembles a human face. From certain viewpoints, you can make out a prominent forehead, a defined nose, and even the outline of lips, giving the impression that a colossal person is carved into the mountainside. While some conspiracy theories and fringe historians have suggested that ancient civilizations sculpted the mountain intentionally, geologists attribute its features to millions of years of natural erosion. Wind, rain, and temperature fluctuations slowly shaped the rock, creating indentations and shadows that our brains naturally interpret as human features, a phenomenon known as pareidolia. The formation has captivated explorers, hikers, and tourists for decades. Adventurous climbers can ascend its challenging slopes to get an up-close look, while photographers often capture the face silhouetted against dramatic skies or the lush surrounding rainforest. Whether you view it as a natural marvel or a mysterious anthropomorphic sculpture, Pedra da Gávea is a striking reminder of how nature can imitate human form on a monumental scale. Hintar and Hinyai, Koh Samui, Thailand. On the southern coast of Koh Samui, Thailand, two rocky outcrops rise dramatically from the shore, instantly catching the eye of every visitor. Known locally as Hintar, Grandfather Rock, and Hinyai, Grandmother Rock, these formations are famous for their uncanny resemblance to male and female genitalia. Hintar's jutting shape unmistakably resembles a phallus, while Hinyai takes on the form of a rounded vulva. Centuries of erosion by the sea and wind have shaped these rocks into their suggestive forms, creating one of the most humorous and undeniably viral geological attractions in Thailand. Tourists flock to the site for photos, fascinated by how natural forces could sculpt rocks so explicitly. The rocks have even inspired local folklore, with legends warning against disrespecting the natural family represented by the formations. Whether you see it as a geological wonder or a cheeky natural joke, Hintar and Hinyai perfectly illustrate how erosion can sometimes have a very literal sense of humor. Sleeping Giant, Ontario, Canada. Stretching along the shores of Lake Superior, the Sleeping Giant Peninsula in Ontario, Canada, is one of North America's most striking human-shaped landforms. From a distance, the outline of the landmass clearly resembles a giant man lying on his back, complete with a discernible head, broad torso, and elongated legs extending across the lake. This natural formation is more than just a geological curiosity. It holds cultural significance for the Anishinaabe people, who tell the legend of Nanabiju, a giant turned to stone. According to the myth, the giant fell asleep and became a protector of the land, watching over the waters and surrounding forests. Geologically, the sleeping giant was formed by ancient fault lines, erosion, and glacial activity, which shaped the cliffs and hills into the unmistakable human-like silhouette. Its imposing presence is visible from miles away, making it a favorite subject for photographers, hikers, and travelers who want to marvel at one of nature's most convincing anthropomorphic creations. Whether seen through the lens of legend or geology, the sleeping giant perfectly demonstrates how nature can sculpt landscapes that mirror human forms on a monumental scale. Love Valley, Cappadocia, Turkey. In the heart of Cappadocia, Love Valley is home to hundreds of towering fairy chimneys that rise dramatically from the valley floor. While the whimsical name might hint at romance, the shapes of these natural spires are unmistakably phallic. Tall, tapering, and oddly uniform, they look like giant natural peaks scattered across the landscape. The effect is even more striking when viewed from above or from the valley rim. Small tourist-sized formations at ground level are dwarfed by massive spires carved into the cliffs, creating a surreal landscape that seems almost designed to provoke laughter or disbelief. Over millennia, wind and water erosion sculpted these spires, turning Cappadocia into one of the world's most unusual geological playgrounds and one of the most viral destinations for those who enjoy nature's cheeky sense of humor. Cave of the Hands, Argentina. Hidden in the remote canyons of Patagonia, Cueva de las Manos is a natural cave whose walls are covered with thousands of handprints, stenciled outlines left by indigenous peoples more than 9,000 years ago. Unlike other formations where the shapes resemble body parts by chance, here the rock itself literally bears the imprint of human anatomy. Visitors are immediately struck by the scale and intimacy of the site. Rows of hands, some tiny, some large, overlap in a rhythmic, almost artistic pattern, giving the impression that generations of people pressed themselves into the stone, leaving behind a permanent connection to the past. It's a literal body part wonder, a place where human presence is etched directly into nature's canvas. Manpupuna Pillars, Russia. Hidden deep in the remote Ural Mountains of Russia, the Manpupuna Pillars are a series of 7 towering stone formations that rise dramatically from the surrounding taiga. Each pillar, reaching up to 40 meters tall, has been sculpted over millions of years by wind, rain, and frost, gradually eroding the rock into elongated shapes that resemble humanoid figures. From certain angles, these pillars look like giant humans frozen in time, standing silently against the rugged landscape. Their silhouettes evoke the impression of ancient guardians, as if colossal statues had been placed there by a long-lost civilization. Local legends even attribute mystical qualities to the formations, believing them to be petrified giants or protectors of the region. The pillars' isolation adds to their mystique. Surrounded by dense forest and challenging terrain, they are difficult to access, which has preserved their natural grandeur and eerie human-like presence. Photographers and adventurous travelers who make the trek are often struck by the uncanny sense that they are in the presence of massive, silent sentinels. The Man-Pupuna pillars are a perfect example of how nature can sculpt strikingly humanoid forms, blending geology, folklore, and imagination into one unforgettable sight. Kauleonanahoa, Molokai, Hawaii. On the lush island of Molokai, Hawaii, a striking phallic stone formation rises naturally from the landscape, earning the name Kauleonanahoa, or the penis of Nanahoa. This formation is more than just a geological curiosity, it holds deep cultural significance. Traditionally, it is considered a fertility site, where locals have long believed that paying respect or making offerings could promote fertility and good fortune. Visitors often adorn the stone with floral tributes, leaving behind delicate garlands or blossoms as part of their homage. The smooth contours and upright shape of the formation make its resemblance unmistakable, a reminder of how nature can sculpt features that mirror human anatomy with remarkable precision. Set against Molokai's verdant backdrop, Kauleonanahoa is not only visually striking, but also a testament to the spiritual and symbolic importance that certain natural forms can hold in human culture. Whether seen as a cultural landmark, a natural wonder, or a provocative geological feature, Kauleonanahoa perfectly fits the theme of this list, where human imagination and nature's artistry intersect in the most unexpected and intimate ways. Pancuran Telu dan Pancuran Pitu, Indonesia. At a distance, Pancuran Telu and Pancuran Pitu in central Java look like unusual rock terraces streaked with bright yellow and orange from centuries of sulfur-rich water flow. But it's when you step closer to the Pancuran themselves, the outlets where the hot water gushes, that things take on a far stranger appearance. The way the mineral-stained rock has built up over time has created rounded openings, folds and channels that look less like ordinary stone and more like something organic. Many visitors have commented on how uncannily these natural showers resemble sculpted body parts, particularly certain aspects of female anatomy. It's this odd, almost anatomical illusion, combined with the constant steaming flow of water, that makes the springs both mesmerizing and a little unsettling. While locals see them mainly as places of healing and bathing, the internet has latched onto their shape, making them a viral curiosity that blurs the line between geology and biology. Not all body part formations are natural. While most of the formations on this list are carved by wind, water, and time, some are entirely man-made, but they still fit perfectly within the theme of human anatomy-inspired shapes. These artworks show how humans have long been fascinated by the human body, creating pieces that range from bold statements to playful curiosities. One of the most talked about examples is the vulva sculpture in northeastern Brazil. Towering on a hillside, this enormous piece immediately captures attention for both its size and explicit form. It has ignited a cultural clash. Leftist artists and progressive supporters celebrate it as a symbol of female empowerment, sexual liberation, and artistic freedom. On the other hand, conservative groups, including allies of former President Jair Bolsonaro, have condemned it as obscene and inappropriate for public display. The sculpture's visibility makes it impossible to ignore, and its presence continues to spark heated debates, attract tourists, and dominate media headlines. It's a striking example of how man-made creations can provoke as much fascination and controversy as nature's most suggestive formations. Meanwhile, in Tübingen, Germany, another giant V-shaped sculpture has stood quietly at the rear entrance of the Institute for Virology and Microbiology since 2001. Unlike the Brazilian artwork, it was never intended to provoke or dominate public debate. It remained largely unnoticed for nearly 2 decades. That changed when an American student famously got stuck inside it, instantly making it a viral sensation. Suddenly, this subtle campus artwork became a source of humor, curiosity, and social media fascination, showing that even discrete man-made sculptures of human anatomy can captivate people in unexpected ways. These man-made sculptures, though not natural, complement the rest of our list perfectly. Just like Pancuran Telu in Indonesia, Love Valley in Turkey, or Pum Pum Rock in Jamaica, they celebrate the striking, sometimes shocking resemblance to human body parts. Whether crafted by nature or by human hands, these formations remind us that the human body, its curves, angles, and intimate shapes, has a unique power to mesmerize, provoke, and captivate audiences across the world. They also serve as a bridge between nature and art. The natural world often mimics human forms in uncanny ways, and humans, in turn, replicate these shapes in bold, imaginative ways that push the boundaries of public perception. If you enjoyed exploring these astonishing human-shaped wonders, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos that reveal the strange, fascinating, and often hilarious secrets of our world. And let us know in the comments which of these formations shocked or amazed you the most.